Hello and assalamu alaikum everyone. Today's lecture we're going to talk about inventory control charts, what are inventory control charts and what are the elements of inventory control charts which inventory managers use in order to decide when to order, how much order, and basically how to manage inventory basically. So inventory control charts or graphs are widely used to monitor a firm's inventory position. These charts record over time the number of goods held, inventory deliveries, buffer levels, and maximum inventory. So basically, it helps to record all of these factors that what is the inventory held at a current position, what will be the how much inventory might be held, and like what are the buffer level. We already had a little brief discussion about what buffer level is and what will be what is the maximum inventory. They also aid an inventory manager to determine the appropriate order time and order quantity. So what time should they order and how much quantity should they order, as well as allowing an analysis of what will happen to inventory levels if an unusual event occurred, such as a competitor operating a really successful promotion campaign or derailment of suppliers from suppliers due to various reasons like traffic jam or meeting orders from further firms. So basically, it helps you to forecast what will happen to your inventory if some other uncertain factors act, due to which your inventory might decrease or inventory might suddenly drop or might not drop. There might be high levels of inventory or low levels of inventory. So what are the basic factors? Like, it basically aids in your inventory management. It helps you decide what is the reorder level should be, what will be buffer inventory level, what is the maximum level, and how much time it will take for your orders to reach you. Okay, so here are certain factors, certain things that you need to look at. This is a basic inventory control chart. Okay, and this is the realistic, like, this is the optimum, you can say a optimum chart, that this should be in how a perfect chart should be like. But of course, in reality, that's not the case, and in reality there's a lot of fluctuations taking place. Okay, so the things that you need to focus on particularly is lead time. What is lead time? What is the maximum inventory level? What is the reorder level? And what is the buffer inventory level? Okay, so basically on the y-axis we have the number of units, and on the x-axis we have the time in weeks, how much time it takes, weeks basically. So when we look at this graph, it first says that okay, we have 60,000 units at week 0, and gradually as weeks progress, on the third week our inventory has dropped down from 60 to 10. This particular inventory, where this inventory reorder level, this is the reorder level. It's called reorder level because when your inventory reaches this particular level, like 20,000 units, when your inventory has dropped to 20,000 units, you place an order to a supplier, and by the time the time taken for your supplier to meet your order, that is this, when your inventory reaches to maximum level again, this is when you have received your supply. So these particular points I'm going to highlight over here. This and this. I hope you can see it. If you can't, I'll just use another color over here. Okay, blue and green both, so you can see these points that I'm referring to. So these are the points when your supplier meets your order. Okay, so your supplier, when the supplier has delivered the goods, this is the particular point. So as the supplier has delivered you the goods, your inventory reaches to maximum again, and eventually it drops down to this reorder level again, where you place an order to your supplier, then after some time passes, the inventory maxes out again, and the time taken for you to place an order and the time taken for the maximum inventory level for your inventory level to reach the maximum again, that is for the suppliers to give you that, for the suppliers to deliver you the stocks. This time is known as the lead time. Okay, this small time, this time period that I've been made, this is the lead time. So we're going to see proper definition in the next page, but this particular point, that this is a reorder level. When your reorder level is reached, and then suddenly there's an increase from 20,000 to 60,000 in this particular time frame. This time frame where there's an increase in your inventory level, that your inventory level reaches from reorder level to maximum inventory level, that is the lead time. Now of course it won't directly come from reorder level to maximum inventory level, because it takes some time for suppliers to reach you, for them to deliver you. But so in order to just be safe, so that your inventory does not reach zero directly, you need to have this particular buffer inventory level, that is the extra level, the extra inventory that the business has, just in case of some emergency, your supplies, your demand increases, so you can continue production. So this particular point is your buffer inventory, that the minimum, the safety inventory that is there, that if your inventory supply, that extra inventory that is there, when you have, like extra inventory for you to continue production. Of course, if suppose you don't need a buffer inventory level, so your whole graph will move down. That is, we actually have 10,000 units extra, and these 10,000 units, as you can see, that there is no drop, that inventory never drops from 10,000 units. These are actually your safety units, that just in case there's an unexpected demand increase at this particular point, and your suppliers take, the lead time has somewhat increased, your suppliers take more time, then you can still continue production. We won't see it over here in this perfect for graph, but we will see over here in this realistic graph, where as you can see that your maximum stocks level, okay, this is your reorder level, okay, 125 units, and it takes this small time for suppliers to reach you, okay, but then eventually it takes a lot of time for you to reach the reorder level, and again suppliers meet your demand fast, then again you replace your reorder level, place orders at the reorder level, the lead time is again same. But as you can see that lead time, this lead time I'm going to mark over here in red line, okay, this and this, okay, these are all lead time. Okay, never mind. Okay, these are lead time. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, hope you get the never mind my bad handwriting. So lead time basically, so as you can see, the lead time is almost the same for whenever you place an order. The time taken for them to, for suppliers to, for the time taken for you to order the stocks, and for the time taken, the difference between this ordering stocks and your stocks being delivered, the difference is almost the same in the lead, that is the lead time is almost the same. Your suppliers are ordering you on time, but your inventory does not decrease at a steady pace. Unlike this graph, your inventory, sometimes inventory decreases in 1 week only, your inventory reaches buffer inventory level, and sometimes it takes 3 weeks for you to decrease your inventory and still it does not reach buffer inventory level, and sometimes again there's a sudden increase in demand, so within 1 week your inventory level drops down to zero. This even drops down to zero, but thankfully you have ordered before you had this buffer inventory, so you are still able to continue production and until your new stocks arrive. So suppose if you don't had this buffer inventory level, if you didn't had it, then you will already have this 50 extra units. If you didn't have these 50 extra units, then you won't be able to have this extra level of production, this extra production that took place over here, okay, this extra production, you wouldn't be have this inventory level wouldn't, this will basically mean that these are basically your extra sales that took place thanks to your buffer stocks. So if you didn't have this buffer stocks, then that means that you wouldn't have enough inventory to meet your customer demands, because of which your customers will be dissatisfied, and they will, we have already discussed all that points before. So buffer inventory level is necessary so that you can continue production in case of sudden demand increase, as it can be seen over here. Of course, it's not easy to interpret these graphs, but I'm going to go over to it again, just in case you still had so many confusions. So basically, you start off with a maximum inventory level. Your inventory drops down to and reaches a certain level, where that is called a reorder level. When it reaches the reorder level, you place an order to a supplier, and then the time taken for you to place an order and the time taken for you to receive that order, this time is called lead time. And within this lead time, you need to have some buffer inventory level, just in case there's a sudden increase in your demand, so that you can continue your operations as long until new stock arrives. So these are all the points that you need to consider when you are answering inventory level charts. Like, examiners might ask you, okay, what's the maximum inventory level? You can just look at the rows, the peaks. Okay, all the peaks will have the same, and you can just make a line and say, okay, this is the maximum inventory level. Examiners might ask you, might make a drawing line. They might have, of course they will make this reorder level line, but they might ask you what is the buffer inventory level. Then this level, you'll just make a line over here and you say, okay, this is buffer inventory level. And they might ask you for the lead time, then you'll just look at this position, the reorder level time and the buffer inventory level, reorder level, and this when there's the buffer inventory to maximum inventory. Basically, when examiner asks you to calculate lead time, you'll just see this time taken for you to place an order and the time taken for you to your inventory to max out, that is when you receive your supplies. This duration, you just have to focus on this and just look at the x-axis and answer your examiner. So that's how you calculate lead time. Now the basic definitions that we have already discussed, I've written down over here so that you can have a brief introduction about that again. Buffer inventory, what was buffer inventory? It was the minimum inventory level that would be held to ensure that production can take place if delivery of supplies is delayed or production needs to increase to match the demand level. Lead time, what was lead time? It was the normal time taken between ordering new inventory and receiving it. That is when stocks are ordered and when it is delivered. Okay, so that is ordering new inventory and receiving it. That's the time taken for that. Reorder level, it is the level of inventory left at which a business needs to place an order so that the new inventories arrive before the business goes below its buffer level. That's the basic definition that we can give. Reorder quantity is the amount of goods or stocks ordered each time. That is, it should be an EOQ, economic order quantity, we have discussed in the previous lecture. So reorder quantity should be as close to economic order quantity as possible. Maximum inventory level, this may be limited by space or by the financial cost of holding even higher inventories. So of course you know that what is maximum inventory level, but it is of course limited. It varies from business to business. It is limited by your space or financial cost of holding high inventories. So one way to calculate how you can calculate maximum inventory level is by adding the economic order quantity of each component to the buffer level for that item. Like what is the quantity that is ordered. So if you look at this previous example, suppose we didn't knew this point was not given. Okay, we knew this reorder level, we knew the buffer inventory level. So and we just knew the graph. Okay, so when we had to calculate maximum inventory level, we just look at, okay, what's the buffer inventory level and what is the stocks that is being ordered. So if you see this stocks that is ordered, reorder level, we order at 20,000 and what we will get, we get 60,000. So we are basically ordering 40,000. Okay, what are we ordering? 40,000 or 50,000? Sorry, we are ordering 50,000 sales. So when the drop occurs, we are ordered 50,000. So from 10 to 1,000, it directly maxes out to 60. So 60 minus 10 is 50, of course. So the 50,000 is your order, that order size, and 10,000 is the buffer inventory level. So add both of 10,000 plus this 50,000, it makes 60,000. Okay, you won't be asked to calculate maximum inventory level at most cases, but just an idea for how it may be calculated. Just add the economic order quantity, that's the order size, with the buffer level of that item. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching and Allah Hafiz.